Sojourn with the Lord.
The episode in today's reading is from the discourse on church among the five discourses of the Matthean Gospel. How to live in a community and how to complement each other would be the discussion. The entire Gospel passage would have only one theme, which is forgiveness. Now, we would dwell on the same aspect of forgiveness. The world renowned book, Cost of Discipleship by Bonhoeffer, would speak about two types of graces: cheap grace and costly grace. Cheap grace would be just the grace that we take as granted. On the other hand, costly grace is costly because it demands from you something. Sacrifice is a requisite for it. All the graces that we receive have a great mystery aspect in them. Understanding it also is very difficult. The grace of forgiveness involves a mystery aspect in it. But before the grace of forgiveness, we must ask God for the grace of shame, because it is a great grace to be ashamed of our sins and thus receive forgiveness and the generosity to give it to others. To enter the mystery of forgiveness, we must feel ashamed. Lord, may I feel shame for what I have done. If we glance through the parable of the master and servant, despite of receiving forgiveness from the master, though it was a gracious gift, the servant considered it not, and he persecutes his debtor. Why did this happen? This man who had been forgiven a debt so large, this man who had been forgiven a debt so large, then incapable of forgiving small things. Indeed, he did not understand the mystery of forgiveness. Now, coming into our life, we also are compared to that servant, often not feeling shame for the sins that we have committed, and we experience it in the confessions. We often consider the grace we receive from the confessional as a cheap grace, not really a costly grace. It does not affect our lives. We were unable to feel shame for our sins. We are not conscious of what God did, of the generosity that we have received. Very many times, the servant resembles each of us. We are forgiven many things, but we don't understand anything. We feel happy and light-hearted, but never understand the Master's generosity. We may understand two things from the Gospel episode: how many times to forgive? 70 times? 70 times 7? May not be. Forgive always. After all, if the Lord has given me so much, who am I not to forgive? The second thing is to forgive others. We need to feel forgiven. It's difficult, but our Master has shown us the way. Even if not a perfect way, let us give it a try. Our prayer may be, Lord, grant us the grace to feel ashamed of my sins, to feel forgiven, and to forgive others. Let us reflect.